Happy anniversary! My media museum is 1 year old today. And we started out with 77 videos the day we went live, but we've got 356 videos on the channel today. That's a total of about 65 hours. So it'd take you almost 3 days of straight watching the channel to watch everything we've posted in the last year. I appreciate every one of my 475 subscribers that we've received on the channel, and every thumbs up. Didn't count those, but definitely appreciate them. We've had 112,000 views, 2.6 thousand hours of watch time. So I'm very grateful to all of you that's taken an interest in the channel, and glad to see it survive a year. Hopefully it'll survive many more. So I figured we would start this year off with box 11 of our random 45 RPM vinyl records. We've got about 5 more boxes of random 45s to go through. And we're starting this one off here with Boston, More Than a Feeling. And I remember back in the day they used to ask you, if you had one album on a desert island, what would it be? For a long time, it would have been Boston's first one for me. I drove around in a car with it for months listening to it. B-side is another great song off that first album, Smokin'. Yeah, so great way to start off. And then we've got us a reissue here on the Gold Mine Rockin' Mania Records label. And this is Blue Oyster Cult, Burnin' For You. And you can see they've got it noted as being digitally remastered. So this is 1981 for the original song and 1990 for this copy here. I like it when they date it both ways. That's really nice. And the B-side is being Don't Feel the Reaper. And while it's digitally remastered, looking at that runtime of 452, I didn't take time to verify this, but I'm pretty darn certain that this is the 45 RPM version, the edit, that doesn't have the long extended section in the middle there. But I wanted to also take time to look up some of these distributors, because they were making records exclusively for jukeboxes, goldies, golden oldies, collectibles, Rockin' Mania records. There's a number of them that you could special order songs for your jukebox from, and I wanted to see if any of those are still in business. I need to check that out. Moving on here though to the third one, we've got Van Halen doing Dancing in the Street, 1982 from Diver Down. And the B-side on that one was The Full Bug. So yeah, I wanna look up and see if because I doubt if any of them are still making 45s, but with the resurgence in vinyl, maybe they did come back, and maybe the jukebox market is still stronger than I may be aware of. Haven't been to a record show in quite a few years, so that'd be interesting to find out. Next up, we've got Loverboy, Working for the Weekend, off the second album, Get Lucky. And everybody's working for the weekend, with the B-side of a song called Emotional, which I'm not as familiar with, but it says it's also taken from Get Lucky. I'm sure it is. I do have the first 3 Loverboys and their greatest hits on CD, but it's admittedly been a few years since I've listened to them. Next up, we've got a Cheap Trick here that I'm not as familiar with either, If You Want My Love. And that came out in May of 1982. You can see it's a Memory Lane release here. They're not telling us specifically what album it's from, but the B-side is also noted as being September of 1982, and a song called She's Tight. So I'd have to go back and figure out just what years both those songs originally came out, but I think they were earlier than that. Usually these are the years that they were originally released, but I'm thinking She's Tight went back to the 70s, but I just could be mistaken on that. Here's a collectibles sleeve. All the great oldies are on collectibles. I was just talking about them. Original songs by original artists. And yeah, it's a special order company that you could get on. I don't want to say online, but I'm not sure if they were ever online. That you could get their catalogs and order through the catalogs to fill up your jukebox with. And this is a great one. The Ozark Mountain Daredevils. If you want to get to heaven, you gotta raise a little hell. And they're saying that hit number 25 in June of 1974, according to somebody's information. And you see the old collectibles advertising right there with the send for the free catalog. So I never did buy anything directly from any of those special order companies. All of mine either came from the actual store in the music section, or possibly mixed boxes bought at garage sales, estate sales, flea markets, stuff like that. I bought quite a few on the secondary market in record shops too, used. But I never bought any online or directly from any of these companies, but I was always aware of their existence. The B-side of this looks like it's the exact same song. Or did I already flip that? I already flipped it while I was rambling on about other things. Sorry about that. So the B-side is Look Away. Not the exact same song. And that's extremely rare on these collectibles, these reissues. It's not very common to see one. Usually it's a promotional one where you'll see the same song on both sides. And even then, it's usually a stereo mono for the AM FM stations to have the various versions that they needed, or possibly even a live, which is really cool. We're going to see one of those here in one of the next coming up videos here soon, where we've got the original track on the A side and a live version of it on the B side, an exclusive live, which they usually were when they did them that way. This one's interesting because it's got a barcode. This is the original sleeve for the disc I'm about to throw up here and show you, but you'll notice that barcode is stickered on there too. It's not printed. It was stuck on the, and I like the way they put it on the sleeve rather than on the vinyl itself. But this is a Warner Brothers reissue, back-to-back hits. Those are always reissues when you see the back-to-back logo there. Well, not logo, but statement. But this is from Eliminator, Sharp Dressed Man, 1983. Good old ZZ Top. And the B-side's one that I have the original picture sleeve of, and I've already filmed and put up on the channel for you all to see. And that's Legs. But yeah, there is a picture sleeve of that filmed and up on the channel. But that's what's on the B-side of this back-to-back hits reissue of Sharp Dressed Man. Every girl's crazy about a sharp dressed man. Now yesterday, this is a strange, funny coincidence here. I was watching Godzilla x Kong, the new Empire, and the movie ends with this song right here, Day After Day by Badfinger. Day after day. So that's really kind of funny for me to have queued these up to film. And the day after I watched the movie, here it is with this song. So, of course, this song's much older than that film that just came out last year. This goes back to the early 70s, I do believe. This copy is not dated, but I'm pretty darn sure it's the early 70s. And here they're doing money on the B-side, which is kind of funny, because Badfinger, you know, was produced by Paul McCartney. Or maybe not entirely, but he did give them some songs. Come and Get It being one of them that Paul McCartney wrote and gave to Badfinger, and it's on the Apple label here. Now, I've also pointed out in the past, but being an anniversary show, maybe we should be kind of fresh and cover everything again. All the Apple 45s are easy to figure out the A and B sides, because the cut in half Apple is the B side, and the full Apple is always the A. So that's another good way to figure out your A and B side on an Apple label, is just to look at the Apple. But yeah, that's funny that the Beatles did record Money very early on in their career, and then you've got Badfinger doing a copy of it there too. And that wasn't a Beatles song. You notice it was credited to Tom Evans, so that was something that the Beatles did a lot of covers on their first couple of albums early on. They were a lot of songs that they recorded and put out that they did not write. But that was commonplace back then too. It's not that they were being lazy. They had plenty of material. The record company was just pushing them to put out known hits so they could get that guaranteed buck, you know. It's all about the dineros. All right, here we got Gary Wright with Love Is Alive, 1975. Dun-dun, dun-dun, dun-dun. Wow, wow. And the B-side being a song called Much Higher. All right, very cool. Next up, we've got 2 copies in a row of the same song here. And I do believe I have probably shown this one on the channel before. I think this is going to be the last box. I'm going to have some duplicates mixed in that I didn't pull out, because I started somewhere around the 4th or 5th box. I started pulling out a lot of the ones that I knew were duplicates that I'd already filmed and putting them in a separate box. And we'll show those. We'll film those too before I'm done with the vinyls and moving on completely. But if you don't know this song, when I was a younger man, I hadn't a care. Really great song, really awesome song. Climax Blues Band isn't necessarily a band that I've been into a lot, but I definitely love that particular song. And the B-side of this, and this is the original edition of this, is a song called Horizontalized. And the next one up that I'm going to show you is a reissue of that song, and you'll see here's the A side with I Love You, and you'll notice the main biggest difference is it says back-to-back hits there, where the original copy did not. Other than that, some of the prints moved around a little bit, rearranged, but some of these notations here is telling us that hit number 12 in April of 1981. And the B-side there on this reissue copy is Gotta Have More Love rather than horizontalized. All right, so thank you very much. Hope some of you out there spent the year with me, and I hope we spend many more together. So have a wonderful day, and see you again.